After this.
A morning ritual for people who think deeply.
Zen AM.
Hey man, you talking today?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. Time for Zen AM.
Start off with some breath work.
Yo. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Zen AM. I'm your host, Nehemiah. We got Daria and DTB.
What up?
What is good? I'm over here just giving y'all this link. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I see that we got this this new option on the IG. So putting that in there lets us put the link in there now.
Okay. I like
So
that.
we about to see what this do. So I just put the link in there. We're gonna see if we bring more people up over here now.
Let's get it.
Yeah, how was your weekend, man? When they smile.
It was good, man. I
When
was
they
doing some
smile,
work.
you better watch out when the person get that smirk before they answer. You know they going in their memory bank.
Yeah, I had to think about it. I was working around the house, putting up pictures and stuff like that. So it was cool. It's raining. It's been raining around in Georgia.
Really?
For the past 5 days. So
Oh,
it
really?
don't make no sense of going out or doing anything right now.
Go play in the rain.
Yeah, I worked out in the garage. Put the garage up and worked out. So that was good. That was nice. How was your weekend, man?
It was chill, man. It's been nice here. So 80
No
degrees.
rain?
No.
Oh wow.
No rain. It's been nice. So I'm trying to think I'm going back inside of my memory what I do. So I Friday, Saturday just worked. And then Sunday I made myself have a little Sabbath. So I forced myself to not work. Woke up. I've been real like laptop-ish, right? So if I'm watching like my favorite church service, I'll have my laptop open. So this Sunday I made sure that it was closed and I just watched it, gave it my full attention.
That's good.
There's a pastor I like, his name is Lovey, super dope. So I watched that, and then I went out and Kansas City just opened up this little bridge right by my old spot. You went to my old spot, remember? So there was this broken down bridge right around there. They just it up. They put a restaurant on there. There was a little like pop-ups. They had a DJ, all that. So
that's fire.
So I called up my homegirl Kristen and Spencer. You remember them?
Yep. Shout out.
So we went out there, and then I came home. I tried to start watching the new show, didn't keep my attention. So then I just
what show was that?
The Boys.
I'm
on like season something. I was like, man, this show is just not keeping my attention. Put on The Chosen, and then went to sleep.
I feel that.
Went to sleep. I ain't do no work yesterday. For the first time, I can't even remember the last Sunday I ain't do no work.
Hey, that's how it's supposed to be, man. Sunday is rest day.
Yeah. So that was my first time forcing myself to do a Sabbath. So it's something that I'm gonna start incorporating more into my routine.
I've been having I guess like sharp knee pains because I'm playing a lot of pickleball and stuff like that. So I did a nice little 45-minute stretch.
Oh, okay.
And I noticed like how much I need to stretch and opening up the hip muscles and things like that.
Yeah.
Because when they gone, man, they ain't coming back. So I need to treasure it while it's here, man. So just being more intentional on not just doing a 20-minute stretch, but 45-minute, an hour stretch. So I was just playing some music and just laid on the ground and just had my stretching band. So that was really nice for me to get back to. And it was like, if you really love yourself, you're going to put more into yourself. And that's stretching.
Right. Did you follow a stretch on like YouTube or something, or did you just freestyle it?
I just freestyled it. I looked at some stretches on TikTok. And then that's when I incorporated it. And then I just was like, oh, I can stretch this way and stretch out this hamstring and stuff like that. And just learning about all the muscles that's in the body that, protects the knees.
Right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do some breath work.
Let's get it, man.
We ain't done no breath work in a while. I know y'all been asking for it. Shout out to our IG people. It's Brianna, Spay, Harris, JJ, Nina. We can get some. And it's been a minute. Nice little reset. Probably good with the weekend. I know we all had a weekend. We'll tap ourselves in. Some mic up. Go ahead and roll those shoulders out, y'all. Get into a good position to where you can get some good breath work in uninterrupted. Nice little roll of the shoulders. We already know that's where we keep our tension at. You can put the shoulder to the ear. That's a good stretch just to get that tension out, especially when we get older. All right. Sitting up nice and straight. Deep breath in through the nose. Hold it. Release through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Hold it. Release through the mouth. In through the nose. Hold it. Release. And hold it. And hold it. And hold it. Release. Ross and class.
Yes, I
hope that felt good. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Today's Memorial Day. It's a holiday. So most of us should be off work today. Most of us, I believe I'm off work, which is going to be good. I'm still going to do, I'm going to do some Zen AM stuff. Wayne done knows. I ain't even looked at the YouTube channel in months, man. I ain't looked at the YouTube channel. I ain't looked at the social media. I haven't done nothing, man. It's just been focused on the business.
Hey, man, you've been busy, man.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone in here. If you have any family members who served, shout out to them. We have family members here who served. My dad served. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody. This is their day. I know around the world is something that's celebrated, so it's good. Our troops need that. I know a lot of them go serve the country and then come back, and then sometimes, especially after the years go by, the recognition kind of goes down. So I want to always recognize them for their service to America. America, we got a strong military foundation.
Like probably one of the strongest.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't see many people messing with us. And the thing about America is that you don't know what weapons we got. We secret about it, right? A lot of these other places, they try to talk about what they have and stuff, and a lot of it is a scare tactic. But we got stuff that we ain't even told people about.
Yeah,
we got weapons that hit you just with sound. They just hit the next thing you know, you just on the ground. Yeah. So they hit you with a sound wave. We got, I think they was talking about in Venezuela, they didn't even see. I mean, that's really kind of what the B-2 bomber was back in the day. The B-2 bomber, I don't think that was like recognized on radar or anything. So you can imagine what it's like now.
Yeah.
So I think in Venezuela, they had it to where they didn't even see the planes coming. The next thing you know, they just dropped out, and then they just hit a button, and people just rolling around, throwing up, blood coming out. Hit them with I think they got weapons that hit 100 rounds per second.
Get the chopper.
America, yeah, get down. Get the chopper. So it's a bomb. So we have a very, very strong military, and it's something that we should be appreciative of, because I know that we have a lot going on in the world, but one of the things that we can kind of at least sleep a little bit well at night is that we don't have what happens in places like Iran and all these places to where they come over here and just bomb things that's happening like Ukraine and stuff. Like, that's one thing that we can be appreciative of, is that, we don't have to worry about that, and we are for the most part safe. Like, the biggest thing that we have to worry about is it's more of America dividing America more so than somebody else coming in here and invading. Yeah. So all of our soldiers, shout out to them.
And that within itself is a true blessing, because it's like you ain't really got to worry about the other things that other countries have to go through. And that shit is, man, if we went through that stuff, I don't know where we would be at as a community. So thanks to the service. Thanks to everyone who served in the military or played a positive role in that act. And this day is for you. Do they do fireworks for your day?
Yeah.
Oh, so I gotta just go to sleep an hour early because I'm gonna be woke up in the middle of the night, because they let them off around here.
They had them yesterday here.
Oh,
so there was a big celebration here in our Union Square area where they do like the Chiefs parade whenever they win. So there was a big thing yesterday for them. I don't know, and they do let off fireworks. I don't know if they're gonna be doing them tonight,
right?
Here, but I don't know. I mean, Georgia, ain't no telling.
Yeah. No, they let them. They let them go over here. Like,
oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm talking about commercial style fireworks.
We get that here
right
too.
In the backyard. I'm like, wow.
Especially for 4th of July, right?
Yeah. I know 4th of July that whole day, but maybe because it rained all week, lightning and thundering. I guess that's why they haven't let them. But they're gonna let them. No, they're gonna let them go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So don't be alarmed if you hear. Well, I mean, right. You're in a good neighborhood.
Yeah,
you're in a safe neighborhood. Like, you got white people in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I got white, Asian, African. My joint look like a multicultural universe.
Look like
East African. Yeah, East Africans.
Yeah, that's how. If you ever want to know if the neighborhood you picking is safe, just look at who outside jogging.
Yeah.
Look at who outside jogging. That's how you know.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, it's the same. A lot of, well, we don't have a lot of cultures here in Kansas City. It's not like when I lived in West Hollywood, it was crazy. It was crazy. You sit outside and you see everything.
Yeah.
But here, it's not a whole lot of different cultures here, which is one of the things that I miss about Cali. I miss Cali.
You miss Cali?
Yeah, I do.
He got that itch, y'all. He got that itch.
I was sitting here yesterday like, why did I come back?
For real?
I mean, yeah, I know why I came back. Look around. Right. Like, look around. All my stuff is here. Cost of living. There's a lot of things, but when I'm sitting back, I'm like, hey, should I have stayed?
Right.
Should I have stayed? I mean, I would have had to. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still taking care of here.
Right.
So it would have literally been me just up and leaving in the middle of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, I gotta take care of that. Shout out to our cousin.
Who's that?
Anthony's son's birthday today.
Today is my son Anthony's birthday. I want to wish him happy born day. Happy birthday, Squirrel.
Day. Happy born day. How old is he now? I remember when he was little.
He gotta be like 17, 18.
17. Right? He gotta be, man. Yeah. Shout out to him. Boo Man's birthday too.
Yep. Boo Man birthday was yesterday.
Boo Man's birthday was yesterday.
Yep.
All right.
Happy
Shout out
born day,
to
Boo
Boo
Man.
And then, you know, our Aunt Libby birthday is tomorrow.
Yes.
It is tomorrow.
20.
20.
Woo! See, that makes sense because they around the same age as Malachi. My brother about to turn 21 this year. So
Oh, he is?
yeah. I remember Squirrel and Malachi.
Shout out to Numerology Nation's brother. Birthday yesterday. So we got a lot of, what month are we in?
May.
We got a lot of May birthdays. What's that? Tauruses?
Yeah.
A lot of Tauruses.
Yeah. Taurus, and then they're going into Gemini, I think. Gemini.
Yeah. Stay away from them Geminis, man.
Oh, you had a bad experience?
Don't date a Gemini. If you got any Geminis in the thing, you know, I still mean it, but yeah, I ain't dating no Geminis, man. You know, I think I'm just done dating, period.
For real?
I think I'm done for a while. Numerology, you a Gemini? That makes sense. She's not a Gemini, is she? I'm done dating for a while, man. What'd she say?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. I don't know what that is, man. But yeah, I think I'm done dating for a while, man. It's hard to it's really hard to date and get to that bag. You can't do both. You just can't. You really can't in this day and age. It's like you cannot get to the bag and give your energy to another person and try to give your energy to the Most High too. You can't.
Right.
You just can't. You just can't. Like when you're dealing with other people's energies, man, that will, if they are not the right energies, it'll throw you off everything. It's like you really it's like playing pickleball with a partner. If that energy ain't right, it don't matter how good, it don't matter how good of players y'all both are. It really don't. If y'all if they not making the right calls, or if y'all not in communication right, it's just very tough to do that. And you really can't serve multiple masters and get into the bag in its own, especially as an entrepreneur in a way that's kind of its own master. And then trying to be in a relationship and cater to a person, that's a whole another master in itself. And then you add your relationship and your connection to the creator, depending on where that is. If it's still in the early stages, that's a whole nother master in itself.
Yeah.
You know, like none of those things can be in the startup phase for it to work. They can't all be in the startup phase. Some of them got to be in the much more mature phase. They got to be in the mature phase. And typically getting to that bag has to be in the mature phase, or the relationship has to be in one of them. They both can't be in the startup phase, or you just it's going to be very, very difficult to be successful.
Now that you're saying that, I think you are 100% right. And you have to choose. I think you can handle two. You can manage two.
Yeah.
But three, starting off, that your partner has to be very, very understanding to the point where it's like they questioning everything. They got to be that understanding. Because where we are right now, like the cost of living, everything is up.
Right.
Businesses, everyone is self-employed, so you got to put that first. Family, that's another thing. So if you got kids or if you growing a family, that's a whole nother thing. And then your faith base.
Yep.
You been in church, you whatever religion you are, you keeping that up. Yeah, it's tough. You can't do all three in a beginning stage.
You really can't. You really, really can't. And one of them will suffer. One of them, right? If you are trying to start a business and you look at the cost of what a business takes to start. You could do it for much cheaper nowadays, obviously. But like they say in business, what's your runway? How much cash flow you got before you run out? So if your business is still at that stage, you look at even something like $200, right? $200, if you were to run ads, that could help your business grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could get you in front of, ain't no telling, maybe 10,000 impressions, or maybe get you in front of 10,000 more eyes with $200 if you do your ads right. That's what it costs to take your girl out to lunch nowadays. So now it's tough to ask a girl just to hang out with you in the house, right? Like you got to take your girl or y'all got to go out and do stuff, especially if it's in the early phase. Ain't no relationship really going to survive if in the early phase all y'all doing is kicking it at the house, right? It's gonna, in a sense, lower their value. Is gonna potentially get boring, mundane, routine before it even really gets that exciting period. So now you got to choose, do I take this person out, which they deserve and which we should, because we just been kicking it in the house and they just been watching me work, or do I put this towards ads to grow my business? And if you put it towards ads, you don't know what the return on investment is because those ads may not work. If you take them out to lunch, you know exactly what the return on investment is. Y'all go there. Y'all might even spend half the time on your phone, you know? So it's tough, nowadays. And I'm just really looking at it like maybe the reason why I came back to Kansas City was to stay locked in. It's boring here and that's good. It's not really like a lot of dating options. So that's a good thing, but you really cannot do both. And it's a tough world, especially with the cost of living, like you said, but then also learning to be comfortable solo. And that's.
But I'm going to tell you though, some people hate to be alone.
Absolutely.
But it's so much power in that. You have a clear mind, a clear thought process where other energies or other people's thoughts can't conflict you on making a decision or listening to the inner self, your inner me, your inner chi, hearing directly from the source, which is God. So being in isolation is definitely a good thing. Sometimes it can get, quiet and overwhelming at times, but that's when you really know. I feel like you really get the true understanding when you're in isolation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was, I ran into, we went to the, the bridge, and I was just sitting there, and then Kristen went to the bathroom, and then this girl who I had went on a couple of dates on back in 2021 came up to me. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
We was trying to think about the dates. It was like, when was that?
It
was like, damn near when I first moved here. But we she sat down and we were just talking, right? And the first thing, that she just started talking about was how bad dating is here. You know what I'm saying? And how she really hadn't been on dates for like over a year, X, Y, and Z. And then, the conversation got kind of deep. And I was just like, well, the world to me is a reflection of who we are. Right? So you just told me that you're this and this and closed off in this. So if the world is a reflection of who we are, would you want to date you right now? Because if you're out here dating, you're going to get exactly what you are. So how many of us are out here trying to get dates and we haven't even done the self-work to become the type of person that we will want to date? I know I wouldn't want to date me. You know what I'm saying? Like the version of me that I am right now, I wouldn't want to date me. I'm in a major transitional period right now.
I would like to we gotta normalize like starting from the bottom and as I hate to throw these Drake lines, but shooting in the
That's your
gym.
favorite rapper.
No, that's not my favorite. But nah, it's like, yo, to grow with the human being is one of the most beautiful things on earth.
Right.
But just knowing your role is like, I'm here to support you, not guide you, but champion you in the rafters. And we don't have a lot of people like that. People only come around when people is up.
Yeah. When
And
you're
it's
finished
like,
product.
yeah, when you're a finished product, but it's like, nah, I want to see the true DNA. I want to see the times when it was bad. I want to see the times when it was good. I want to see the times when you had to make hard decisions and things like that, because you really know that person. Like, you really know that person, and that person knows if the world changed on me, that person will never change on me because they always been there. So that's why I always try to normalize. It's like, yo, whatever situation that you in, let's get through it together if we trying to make this thing work, because it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna be like, yo, I don't know who to trust. And God put people in your life for a reason. So it's like, if you feel like you're supposed to be there for that person, be there by any means necessary.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, but I don't think it works. I agree with you 100%, but I don't
Why
think it
you don't
works.
think it works, man?
I'll tell you why. It doesn't work because, and this is just coming from most of the women that I speak to, right? It doesn't really, women are way different than men.
Right.
Women are way different. Men don't have a such thing as dating down. Women do, right? If a man can be a millionaire and can find the love of his life as a waitress at Denny's, and when he talks to his boys, he'll never say, I'm dating down. He'll be like, yo, I met a bad one, this and this and this, and he'll pull her out of Denny's. But if a woman is in her career and finds a man at Denny's that's a waiter, 9 times out of 10, she either won't date him, or if she does, in her mind, she's dating down, right? So men don't have a dating down, women do. But what I'm finding is that with a lot of women, most of their interactions with the men that they date are men who are down. So they are so used to dating these men who are down. Now their change in their life is that they're tired of dating men who are down. They want to date a man who is thriving now, because they didn't been through that so many times of dating a guy who didn't have a job, didn't have this, didn't have this. So now their criteria has changed because they are so used to dating down, right, in their mind. So nowadays, when we just say, I don't think that it works at this age. I think it works in your 20s, and I think maybe in your early 30s. But when you get later, no, they tired of that. They are so tired of a man not being in his element already. So I think in theory it works, and when we're younger it works. But I think that the only way it works now at our age is if a woman meets a man when he's already up, and then he ends up getting down. That's the only way it works, because they were with him when these things happen. So then now when he goes down, they've already kind of got to experience him when things are up, when his money was right, when this was right. So now it's easier for them to go through this transitional period with them than it is for them to meet a man and start off with them while they're in that transitional period.
I agree with you.
20s is different. 20s is different. But the women that they passed their 20s now, so they tired of that.
And that's the thing, right? And I agree. I agree 100%. But it's like, nah, I don't even want. I can't go there. You right.
Zen AM is a space for conversation, perspective, and growth. The idea shared here for inspiration and entertainment, not professional advice. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always use your own judgment or consult a qualified professional when needed.
What if we doing this whole thing wrong?
I like where you go and expand. I like how this. I like the direction it is. Let's go.
I just feel like, what if everything that we're doing is wrong? finding the people that we want to build with, our morals, our principles, what we should be, what comes first. And I really blame the government because the cost of living is so high. So it has everyone in survival mode.
Right.
Like low key, everyone is in survival mode for self.
Right.
And it's like, is that the right way? It's like when you date, are you only supposed to date for love? Are you only supposed to date for business? Are you only like, and of course, I guess we'll have Chuck on the show one day this week, and he'll give us a Bible verse to give us the answer. But what if it's all wrong? And I just blame the government right now because it has us in survival mode. This ain't really, we ain't marrying, and that's the thing. Marriage is not the government way is not based off of love. It's based off of a business note. That's a contract. So it's like if we doing that, we need to be just linking up with people that's gonna push us in a business state of mind.
Yeah. You know, I blame rap music.
I
blame rap music.
I like that. Expound on that.
Music. Yeah, I blame these false images that the entertainment business has given us on what life should be, what dating should be, what all these things should be. So I blame that because for me personally, I don't hear about any fashion brands. I don't hear about anything luxurious unless it's in a rap song. And I think a lot of us are like that. Mm-hmm. We didn't know what Cristal was until it was in rap songs. Mm-hmm. We didn't know Lil Wayne had us wearing polo. Kanye had us wearing polo. You know, now the rappers got us learning about these Birkin bags and this and this. We learn consumerism through the music and through film. So I blame media more than I blame the government. And I think they go hand in hand, obviously, but I blame those for creating the template on what a relationship should be, how you should treat someone through buying them things. That is what symbolizes love. You can't date a man who'll work at McDonald's. You can't date a woman who'll work at McDonald's, X, Y, and Z. So I blame those things for giving us false images of what life is supposed to look like. So that's what I think. And I think it's definitely a blend of what the government, because the government controls rap music and it controls media. Right. And it controls those, because if we look at country music doesn't force you into consumerism. Country music, when their love songs is taking you out to a field, getting a pickup truck, getting a 6-pack, and that's all we need to do is sit and look at the stars. That's all we need.
In the rain.
That's all we need.
You in red form,
man. Cold beer on a Friday night. The fit just right. And the radio, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Shout out to Numerology Nation. She says every man that I've been with, he was down and then brought him up, ended up cheating.
See, that is a reoccurring theme. That is a reoccurring theme. Steve Harvey talked about it in his book, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman. And Steve Harvey talks about it in his book that a woman will never be able to really date a man who isn't in his bag or making that money already. That was like one of the main themes of that book, was that unless a man is already in his career, unless he's already ready to provide, what she just said is something that you're always going to come across. So with men, I think what happens a lot of times and why that is a reoccurring theme is because when men are down, most of the time, the pool of women that's available to them is small. As they increase, the pool of women that is available to them increases. So a lot of times, especially a man without a spiritual foundation, with anything, when they date a woman when they're down, the dynamic becomes more mother son than it does boyfriend girlfriend, because she's taking care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that dynamic starts to change. And through the years, as he starts to get up, these options start to come. And because this dynamic has been more, she's taking care of me versus this is a romanticized type situation. That man is going, especially the type of man, if he doesn't have any type of spiritual foundation or anything, he's going to be prone to falling into his lustful desires now that the pool of women is way larger. And now there's a lot of beautiful women in his DM. There's a lot of beautiful women giving him the eye when he goes out and stuff. That's not the type of attention that he was used to when he was down.
Mm-hmm.
And with women, and obviously this is all my opinion, women always kind of get that attention.
Right.
Women are always, it don't matter if a woman is up or down. Like, they put on a dress, they put on some makeup, they gonna get the same attention that they would whether they poor or rich. Same exact. So they always have this attention. Men, we don't get that type of attention unless two things: we got that bag and the women see it and it's in front of them, or we're famous, or we're tall, right? Those are the three things. If you're tall and hot, you will get the same attention that women get on a normal basis, which is not normal for regular men. If you're a celebrity, you will get the same attention that a regular woman gets, which most men don't get. Or if you got that bag, it takes those three things for a man to get the attention that the average woman gets her whole life.
But see, you just said the key word, attention.
Mm-hmm.
We're not giving one another the true attention that we require. If you're up or you're down, you got him because you gave that person attention. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, once he's up, you still got to keep that person's attention. And I think, I'm gonna speak on me, it's just having those conversations. Sometimes you got to have conversations that you don't want to have,
right?
But is you giving that person that attention that they need. And if you don't align, then you know how to move such. But I feel like that attention thing is, the more you're in a relationship, you start to draw back the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I ain't gonna come downstairs when my girl get home and give her a hug and a kiss.
Right.
We did that the first 3 years or 5 years. No, right. That's still attention.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the thing that, when you go out to Europe and you go out the country, you see all couples are still holding hands.
Yeah.
All couples are holding hands. Old, young, PDA is a thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing. You are holding your woman's hand and your man's hand when you go out from 12 years old to 80 years old. They are out there. America, not so much.
Shout
out to, go ahead.
You in rare form because you're 100% right, but we don't know what that does to the mind. Like when you holding someone's hand, that's one less thing that you got to focus on. You got to make sure that she don't fall or nobody don't split y'all, and that gives you less attention on focusing on other things that surround you.
We don't need to. America, we think we do. We got sensory overload. We got to know where the exits are. We got to know this. We got to know this. When I was out in Berlin, when I was out in Europe, and I'll be with the women's, I was out in Berlin. I had a very unique situation. I was like, calm down. You're not in America. Don't nobody got guns here. Ain't nobody trying to. I'm scoping. Who's this guy right here? What the fuck is this? So close. Why he got his hand in his pocket? Why? You know what I'm saying? Chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out. What you worried about? Like, ain't gonna be no random attacks here.
Yeah.
So America, we head on the swivel, and we taught that. It's even in our music.
Yeah.
When black men and black women interact with each other, and we say peace out, what do we say? Be safe.
Yeah.
Why we got to tell each other that? Be safe. Hey, yo, be safe. Be safe. Like, we already are in danger mode, like danger protection mode all day. It's not. So that's another thing, but I would also disagree with that, because when you go to places like Brazil, they are very, very loving people and very, very PDA and very this, and it's one of the most dangerous places in the world. So I think that, that's an American thing more than it is a danger thing, because Brazil is dangerous, way more dangerous, way more robberies, way more theft than we have here in America.
No, that's true.
What she say?
Who's that? What's that name?
Luis? How you say that? How you say that? Number 4309.
She says, blame parents for choosing not to instill good, honorable, virtuous behavior in their kids.
It definitely starts at that level. I agree with that. Because I have seen a difference and this is all my own personal experience. So when I speak, it's not a generalized thing. I've seen the difference in women that I date who have both parents together, who grew up in a household where the love was there, where they saw their parents dancing and kissing and loving each other, versus ones who did not have that. I've definitely seen the difference. Absolutely. And me, myself, I didn't grow up seeing a lot of relationships. I didn't grow up seeing a lot of PDA. The only couple that was in my house was grandma and grandpa, rest in power. But all they did was argue. They wasn't holding hands. They wasn't cooking together. They wasn't in the kitchen dancing. They wasn't doing none of this. Grandma provided. Right. Granddad drove her to work. It was like a business situation. I didn't see relationships around me. We only had our Uncle Charles and Aunt Cheryl, and then my Aunt Lynn and Uncle and Mr. Gordon. Those are the only two couples that I seen growing up, period. So I was not around that, and it has definitely affected me to this day. Like, to this day, I'm still outgrowing things, and every single relationship that I am in, every single one of them have the same complaint, that I am not affectionate enough. Every single one of them. So I completely agree that it does start at that level. And they even have, there's a whole thing. Some people, they call it, the guy that I'm dating got mommy issues, or the girl that I'm dating got daddy issues, right? It's a whole thing here in America. And it's probably worldwide, but I just say here because this is where I grew up. But yeah, there's a whole category for people like this with mommy and daddy issues. And the way that those relationships go, absolutely, you can definitely tell the difference in the relationships who had parents around where it was loving and parents around where it wasn't.
Do you feel like you're affectionate in a relationship?
No. No, I don't. I'm learning how to be, but no, right. I'm not. Like, I don't. If we on the couch, I'm learning to be close to you while we on the couch. I could be on the couch and you could be on the whole other side. It don't bother me none. I'm cool. Like, because to me, my love language is more quality time than it is physical touch. If you spending time with me, that is just enough as if we cuddling. You know what I'm saying? But as my heart is softening, because my heart has been hardened over all of these years, as it's softening, and as I'm taking in all of this constructive criticism with everyone that I date, and seeing the reoccurring theme, and seeing that, yes, I am the issue here, it's not them. I'm making changes and actively making changes. So it takes more of me to be affectionate. It's not just a normal, it's not normal. I have to go out of my comfort zone to do it.
I'm say all of that needs attention, like the 5 senses. Like, for me, I'm in that person's skin.
February 14th.
I'm in their skin, but I try to show it because you
I love that though. I love that.
You need that, like, in times when, if maybe hard times, maybe good times, but you have those senses up where you can love a person through smell, touch, what's the other 5 senses? If you
All
can
of them.
get that, yeah, all of them,
All of
I
them.
feel like that's when you join that different realm of love, respect, and undivided attention. But a lot of people lack that, man. Conversation, talking.
Yeah.
People don't have intellectual conversations no more, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I divert to documentaries or TV shows or even music, because we don't ask people what they thinking. Like, what
Yeah.
you thinking right now? And that's why in the beginning I was like, yo, we need to normalize having like journals, couple journaling, because sometimes we may not speak up how we truly feel in the way of hurting someone else's feelings. But that's
Right.
not my intent, is to hurt your feelings.
Right.
My
Right.
intent is to express myself.
Right.
So if you stop that there, then it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Our brethren is working. He got a career, so he on call. So if y'all hear that, that's all that is. He work at a very prominent business. So if you got to jump off at any point, let us know. Boo man, what up? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Boo man said, God, man, woman, child. That order of operation is the only way it will work successfully. You are 110% right, boo man. 110% right. Happy born day, by the way. The person that I just ran into, and we were just talking about this, that we went out on a couple of dates in 2021. That was literally what my question was. And she was talking about how the men that she dates, they don't have. I was like, well, what are you looking for? What do you want? She was like, emotional intelligence, X, Y, and Z. And then I'm like, well, do you date guys who have a spiritual or religious foundation? And she said, no, it's either, they're spiritual or they're like closet Bible thumpers. And what my response was, you're probably going to always run into what you're going to if the person you're dating does not have God or whatever the creator is in their mind at their source. Because a person who has these things at their source, that right there is their moral compass. That is the guide in which they are using to dictate their actions. That is the thing that they are using as their foundation. It's going to be hard to find a person who's not reading these texts that's teaching them to be vulnerable, that's teaching them to be this and this and this. Where else are they going to have it or learn it? Is it just going to just pop up? I believe no. They have to be in actively practicing some form of spirituality or some form of religious background, because those are the things that force the normal person to really push for this in their own life outside of the relationship. You know what I mean? So I think that right there is one of the biggest issues that we find in people who don't, who do not have that. So you're absolutely right, Boo Man. Let me see. Says, would you date an ex? Oh, numerology, I ain't even gonna hold you. I usually don't. I would. I would if the reason why we broke up was just because of we were in different places at that time. You know what I mean? But typically I don't date exes again, because a lot of times the amount of time that has passed, I'm not completely sure if it's enough time for us to have made the changes necessary for us to be together. So, for instance, if you date someone who, they got a problem with being honest, um, how much time needs to pass in order for that person to develop the skill sets in order to start being honest, right? Like, what type of transformation do they need to go through in order to learn and grow from that? So a lot of times when it comes to exes, I usually don't go back Doesn't mean that I'm not open to going back, but yeah, a lot of times, enough time has not passed. Like I gotta see some real change in order for that to happen. But what about y'all? Would y'all date an ex? I'm curious because I know a lot of people tend to go back to their exes. That's not something that I typically do. You know, I haven't really dated the same person twice often. But I'm curious about that. So yeah, how do y'all feel? Would y'all date exes? I personally, what up? What up? What up? G1 Holmes, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you coming in. We over here talking about relationships, y'all. Chime in. Lariska's back. We got South Africa in the house. We over here talking about dating and and now how hard it is to date if you are in a position of trying to build a business, if you are in a position of trying to get your relationship right with the Most High, and then you're trying to be in a relationship with a person, how difficult it is to be able to give all of those areas the necessary energy that it takes for them to grow at the level that we want them to grow at. And to me, I was just saying, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult for me to do that. And I'm probably going to be putting dating off for a while just because, you know, running into that issue of trying to run this business and get better with the Most High. One of the relationships is going to suffer, right? It's either going to be the business, it's either going to be the connection with the Most High, or it's going to be, you know, my relationship with that person. So that's one of the things that we're coming across, especially later now in life as we get older. You know, it's definitely much harder. Lariska says, hell no. If it didn't work out the first time, then it's not going to work out the second time around. You know, and I say that often myself too. You know, it's like there's a lot of people in this world, you know, to date, right? There's a lot of people. So for me, I've never gone back to a job that I either quit or was fired from, right? I've never gone back and worked at the same place that I worked before. And that's kind of how I used to treat relationships. But really, the way that I'm starting to look at it is now that I'm, you know, really working on my relationship with the Most High, I'm now getting into a situation where I'm asking, I want to date who you want for me, not who I want for myself, because I don't know if I truly know what's good for me, right? I think that I have an idea, but throughout the time, what I thought was good for me wasn't. And I do know that people come in seasons, but now I'm at the point where it's like, all right, I don't want my own interjection in this. I want you to help guide me, Most High. And that's the reason why I've been really pushing for that in my life. So that's kind of where I'm at. And, you know, I love to hear where y'all are at too. Shout out. We got a lot of people on the IG, Miss Gemini, Jutter, Kumant First, Jay Snow, Bob. We got a lot of y'all in there. Nicole, what up, what up, what up? So giving y'all shout outs also. Says, what's up? And I need relationship wisdom. I'm not good at them. What are you not good at? What are you not good at? I'm curious when you say, because that could be, you know, as we learn ourselves, we start to learn, you know, the areas that we need to improve. You know, like I was saying earlier, for me, you know, a lot of my stuff is just the affection side. You know, physical touch is not really a love language of mine. So that's an area that I suffer in my relationships, just with my upbringing. So, you know, I'm curious as to, you know, what you're not good at. It if you feel open enough, G1, to put it down in the comments, you know, we'd love to kind of see where you at with that. What she said. She says, I've been single for 4 years now, and I'm 42 years old. It seems like the men out there without children or baggage is very scarce. So I would rather stay single until he sends me the right person. Yeah. Is it like that out there in South Africa too? You know, because that's what I'm finding. It is, I'm 40 and never been married, don't have kids, and you're right. I don't have a lot of friends, who are similar. A lot of my homeboys then had kids or X, Y, and Z. And it also the place that you are in the major cities, like LA, stuff like that. It's a lot easier to find people without baggage at our age, only because in these major cities, most people have put their career first. And when now being in a place like Kansas City, it's not the same. Um, Most people here have kids, have already been divorced by my age. So finding somebody without the baggage is very tough. It is very, very tough. And maybe, when we start to talk to the Most High, maybe the Most High wants us to have somebody with a little bit of baggage. You know what I'm saying? I know me, I say deep down, I personally don't want to date someone with kids, but what if the person that is meant for me does have a kid, right? What if they do have a kid? Does that mean because I'm putting my own perception and my own blinders on that now I'm going to miss this opportunity that the Most High wants from me because of what I think, right? And sometimes we do miss that because once again, we are locking in on what it is that we want and not necessarily what the Most High wants for us. So now that I get older, that's the conversation that I'm having more so, not about what I want, but what do you want from me? Yeah. So lacking thorough communication, right? So G1, this is something I think that a lot of men struggle with, right? And what happens in a relationship is that a lot of times we can't give people what we don't give ourselves. So I think a lot of times when we lack in communication, a lot of times it's because we're not fully communicating with ourselves, right? Are we able to fully, as a man, am I able to fully communicate to myself what direction I'm going in life? Am I able to fully communicate with myself how I'm truly feeling inside, right? Without feeling any shame, without feeling weakness, without feeling any of that? Am I able to even be vulnerable with myself? Because a lot of times when we get into relationships with people, even friendships or even at our work, they're asking things of us that we don't even have yet or do with ourselves. Are we able to sit with ourselves and talk about what we feel, understand it, journal it down, go to the root of it? I'm feeling this and this and this. Why am I feeling this? And start to really break that down, because this is the communication when we're in a relationship that is necessary. If a person's actions is making us feel a way, then sometimes if we don't have that skill set to go inside and find the root, okay, this person's actions is making me feel this way. Well, why is it making me feel this way? When they don't text me for X amount of time, this is triggering that side of me that has not only abandonment issues, but rejection issues. When I was younger, I could not get the communication or the attention that I needed from my parents or from X, Y, and Z. So now I have a really, really hard time with being rejected. So when this person does X, Y, and Z, it triggers this rejection trauma inside of me. So if this person is triggering that and we can't be vulnerable or honest with ourselves on why, then we just react. You need to text me back. You need to do this. You need to do this. What you out there doing? What you out here doing? Instead of us sitting with ourselves, understanding why it triggered us, being to the point, and then being able to actively communicate that in a way that is not attacking. Hey, just so you know, when you don't respond back to me in a certain amount of time, it triggers this, and this is what I feel inside. And a lot of times they'll receive that and they may help to give you the validation you need. Okay, I appreciate you saying that. The reason why I don't text sometimes is because my job gets busy and I can't have my phone on me. So I can't respond to this. And I was unaware that my lack of response made you feel this way. So that communication, it really starts with us. It really starts with us being able to be honest with ourselves. What are our traumas? What are our trigger points? What are the childhood traumas that we need to heal? What are the relationship traumas that we need to heal? Because a lot of us, we may not have kids, we may not have been married and stuff, but we're still carrying baggage that we don't even know exists. Let me see. She said, no, Nehemiah, I've tried 3 times and it doesn't work. If he has a kid, he's out. I'm not settling. I can honestly appreciate that. I have actively, tried, and I have tried to date someone with a kid, and there's a lot that goes into that. When you don't have kids and you're trying to date someone with a kid, there's a lot that goes into that because you are competing with time, right? You are competing with time. You're competing with their previous relationship. However, that relationship is, they may have baggage from that. It may be a good co-parenting relationship. You never know, but you're competing with that. And then if they're a single parent, you're also competing with that. So not only are you in competition, but now you also get like limited time with them that you would get with someone who may not be a parent, right? And it could also happen with people who have these very, very deep CEO jobs or anything. Like, their jobs could be very, very demanding of their time, to where you don't get as much time with them as you would like. For me, it's important for me to spend time with a person. Let me spend a couple of days with you. Let me spend 3 to 4 days with you. Let me travel with you. For me, the way that I typically go about relationships is, I want to see this person in many different elements. I want to see if we are compatible. How are you when you're stressed out? How are you when you're happy? How are you, and how do you treat the waiter or the waitress when we go out? How do you treat this? How do you treat that? So for me, that's always been something that was very important for me. And if I'm in a situation where I'm not able to spend that time with the person, then it makes it tougher for me to open up. And I kind of keep my guard up because I'm still side-eyeing you. And I'm like, I don't feel like I know you. So I completely understand that side of it. Yeah, the no ego is huge. The no ego is so huge because it's tough when we don't understand what the ego is, right? And once we start to learn what the ego is, then we can start to battle it, right? Because the ego is our opponent, but it's like our adversary, but it's also like that coach that's going to make us strong. It's going to put in front of us all of the areas that we are weak in. And once we recognize what it's doing, the conversations it's having in our head, all of that, then we're able to learn and grow from it. So the ego is tough because a lot of times when we're dealing with people, we're not dealing with them, we're dealing with their ego. If you not responding is making me feel a certain way, if I don't come at you from a genuine place of love and explaining to you, and you trigger me, my trigger may then elicit a response that triggers you, right? And now we are both just dealing with our triggers, right? It's our egos that are interacting. It's not us at this point. And any argument where we're raising our voice, where we're yelling, where we're doing this, that is not the soul communicating. That is the ego communicating, and that is the ego battling with each other. And that's the reason why nothing ever gets solved, because the ego feeds off of that. The ego wants those types of interactions. The ego is the thing that feels abandoned. The ego is the thing that feels rejected. That's not the soul. The soul does not feel that, because the soul gets its connection, its validation from the Most High. The ego needs it from other people and other interactions. So we're constantly feeding our ego. And if we're able to step back from relationships, any interaction that we're having, any interaction, even ones that we're having with ourselves, if we're able to step back and take a breath and say, is this my ego or is this my higher self? That is such a powerful, powerful, powerful tool. And that's why breath is such a powerful tool, because it can be used. It can be used for us to recenter. Because a lot of times what happens is we start seeing red, right? They say something and instantly we're triggered and instantly we respond. But through meditation, through breath work, it allows us to take that little bit of pause in between our response. It allows us to then settle down and think about our response before we react. And it's better to be proactive than it is to be reactive. And that's something that we see in a lot of relationships. So he says these women get jealous quick too. It's crazy. Yeah, we all got that, right? Like, especially like, once again, what traumas are we dealing with? If we find someone who is constantly in a situation where they have been lied to, they have been cheated on multiple times, and they haven't healed that side of them, and then they get into another relationship, a lot of times it's a quick trigger for them. It's a very quick trigger. And they're bringing these traumas and these triggers into this new relationship. And once again, it's baggage that we don't even see, but that's the self-work. And what happens a lot of times too is that we jump from relationship to relationship without learning the lesson that we need to learn. So we'll go through a relationship, we'll get out of it, and we don't even take the time to, one, heal, and two, be able to turn the reflection on and be like, okay, this is what I went through with this relationship. This is what I need to work on myself. This is what I need to heal. And this happens more often than not. So we end up repeating the same pattern over and over with the people that we date because we haven't learned our lesson yet. And most of the lessons that we have in this life will come through relationships. Most of them will. Most of them will come from the people closest to us. And a lot of times that's the person that we're sharing a bed with. So if we don't take that time to figure out what the lesson was, to learn it, then we're going to keep repeating the same pattern. And that is a very, very, very common thing. I mean, it happens to me too. What I try to do is I try to take a lot of time in between relationships. I don't get a lot of girlfriends. I don't have a lot of girlfriends, but also one of my patterns is when I got out of a relationship, the first thing that I would do is want to jump into a situationship, right? Just to not be alone, to feel validated, to cure that loneliness. And that was something that I had to learn because those situationships were also a pattern that had to be broken for myself. And I didn't realize that was, a trauma response, right? So that was something that I had to heal. And that's what one of my last relationships, that I went through years ago, immediately it was like, oh, I'm single now. Let me hit up this person. Let me hit up this person. I didn't even want a relationship with them. I just wanted a situationship with them. And that was not fair for them. It was not fair for me. And the older that we get, situationships work in your 20s, right? They work in your 20s. You might get lucky in your early 30s, but they just don't work. They just don't work past that because as we get older, we look for things with a little bit more substance. And we need things that have higher values, and situationships just don't do that. So to me, the situationships were keeping me from growing. And those situationships didn't give me the time to heal and to learn what I did from my last relationship because I was jumping in. Because a situationship is just like a relationship. We still got to deal with other people's energies. We still got to deal with communication with other people. So that was something that was like, all right, you got to really take the time to be by yourself right now. Take the time to be by yourself right now and to heal. So that was something, that I'm still learning myself, and that I'm absolutely I'm going through as well. What she say? Numerology Nation, and there are so many egos in all of us, not just one. There just isn't one ego there. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are all dealing with that because we both have these two voices in our heads. We have our egoic voice and we have our higher self voice. And depending on where we are in life, that's going to depend on what voice is louder, right? So absolutely, that ego does not go away. The only thing that happens is that the voice just gets a little bit lower when we listen to it less and less. But our egos are always there, and it's always important for us to see when they're triggered. It may not now be triggered in relationships, but it might be triggered when you're driving and somebody cuts you off, right? Now, instantly you go from 0 to 100. So it's always important just in our own self journey, just to see where we are, where we are triggered, because that right there is where the ego still lies. And I don't think that a lot of people talk about ego deaths and all that. I don't think that happens until we cross over to the other side, because the ego is our adversary, but it's also that coach that's meant to teach us to grow. We look at LeBron James or any of the greatest athletes. They needed someone to challenge them. Every single superhero movie, they needed someone to challenge them, and they needed someone equal or stronger stature to challenge them for them to get to the next level. And that's what our ego is. Our ego is there. If we don't use it to our benefit, it's going to be our enemy. If we use it to our benefit, it's our ally. Oh, and I know we going in today, man. We going in today. I don't know what we was going to talk about. Darian had to jump off, but yeah, absolutely. My first love language is quality time, followed by acts of service. So show me who you really are. Take the mask off, leave the ego, and show me the real raw you. I'm the same. I don't really need words of affirmation. You know what I mean? Actions speak louder than words. If you are taking the time out of your busy day to spend with me, if you were taking the time out of your day to come over, to hang out, to do this, to me, that is you showing me versus just telling me. So I'm the exact same. I do not need the words of affirmation at all. Jealousy is toxic, period. It is. It is, but we are all born with it, right? We do not get rid of jealousy. We just don't. We're not meant to get rid of jealousy. We're not meant to get rid of any of these emotions that we have. The emotions that we have, we were born with. And the emotions that we have are our emotional guide system. These emotions, when used, these alert us to every single thing that we are feeling, what we need to do, whatever, right? So, first of all, the Most High is jealous. The Most High talks about that. So if we are reflections of the Most High, it's only natural that we do have that jealous tendency. And they've done this study before. They've done this study with puppies, and they've done this study with children, right? They did the study with the puppies where they would have a puppy inside of a room. The human would come in, give the puppy attention, and then it would give an inanimate object attention, right? Puppy did not care. But when the person in the room gave the something else that looked like a puppy attention, then the puppy cared. Same with children. So what that showed was that jealousy is something that's in us. It's not something that is developed over time. The one thing that's developed over time is just allowing, when that jealousy is triggered, allowing the response to come from our higher self, not to come from our ego. So we should not try to get rid of our jealousy. We should not feel ashamed from our jealousy. We should not feel ashamed from any of these emotions. These emotions are very, very, very powerful, because the emotions also allow us to know where our thoughts are and if our thoughts are bringing us closer or further away from what it is that we want to experience. And that's something that's very powerful. If we are thinking something and feeling something, we have to pay attention to those. When jealousy is happening, there is misalignment. I'm jealous because what I'm experiencing is different than what I want. I want my partner to only have eyes for me. I don't want my partner to be giving me or giving someone else the same attention that they are giving me. So when we feel that, that means that our partner, if it is rooted in truth and not just our trauma responses, right? If this is rooted in truth, if our partner truly is giving someone the attention that we will want them to give to us as a partner, not as a friend, not just giving them attention, but giving them attention past that level, that jealousy trigger is letting us know that our outside world is not reflecting our inner world and our inner desires. So we got to be very, very careful on not trying to push out emotions, learning how to be guided by them, and then learning how to allow our emotions to change our thoughts, which then can help change our outer experience. I know this is look, man, I'm sorry, y'all. It's Memorial Day. Darian left. He on call. I'm not exactly sure where we was going today, but yeah, we going deep. Y'all. I appreciate y'all staying. If any point this gets too deep, just turn off, man. I apologize. Numerology says, I'm jealous. I can flirt, but he can't because I know mine is pure and is kind of how my face is set up. It says, men stray. I just love the world with holy flame is different from desire and no touchy. So you saying the only reason why you feel like you should be able to flirt and they shouldn't is because you're in control of where you take your flirting. You're not in control of where they take theirs. So it's not a necessary of yours is more pure. It's just that you know what your intentions are when you're doing them. You don't know what their intentions are when they're doing them. So you're not in control of that situation. So I think that right there is more of a control thing than it is. But if you were with someone who over time was able to show you what their intentions truly were at their heart, you would not be jealous when they flirted because you would know that their flirting is coming from the same place that your flirting is coming from, right? So I think that is more of where that lies than anything else. Yeah. Y'all in here today. She say, I read their license plate. Oh yeah, you got numerology. Get the message from the angels. From me, when I cut off because my road rage was getting low. See, road rage. I told you. You better watch out. I could already see it. Riska says he's going deep today. Hey, look, I apologize, y'all. I apologize if we go in deep, but what else we got to do, right? Like, what else we got to do? Do we want to go watch some surface stuff? Do we want to go watch or listen to some people talk about like celebrity gossip? No, man, we want to hear something that might help take us to that next level, right? That's what we want to do with Zen AM. We want to potentially go to that next level. So there is someone that checks all the boxes. Good point. But that is why we have discernment. Yeah, you gotta have discernment. And why do we flirt, right? Let me see. Numerology, why do you feel the need to flirt, right? Like you got to look at that in yourself, like, and what is flirting to you, right? What is that? Is that a control thing? Do you flirt because you like to make people feel good? Do you flirt because it makes you feel good that you're able to get a certain response from them? Do you flirt because there's a part of you that still needs to feel like you got it? You know what I mean? Like, so that's something that you also ask yourself, because do you want to be in a relationship where you're able to do something that your partner isn't able to, right? Because now we're talking about equally yoked. And is that a trait that's equally yoked? You know what I mean? No, if you're able to do something and they aren't, because you know that your heart is pure and theirs isn't, then maybe that's a you thing, and maybe the relationship ain't what it's supposed to be. If you are in a relationship and you do not know whether your person that you are with intentions and heart is pure, what is you really doing, right? What are we really doing? And I think that's the whole point of dating, isn't it? The whole point of dating is for us to find out what our partner's intentions are, right? Is to find out who they truly are, so that we can find ourselves in a place of security with them. We can find ourselves in the place of when my partner goes out into the world, I'm not worried about anything because I know their heart. I know that they're pure. I know what their intentions are. Because if we are constantly in relationships where we don't, that's where we find ourselves on edge. That's where we find ourselves getting that jealousy button triggered. That's where we find ourselves having questions for them. That's where we find a lot of issues that pop up when we don't truly know the intentions or heart of our partner. So now we got to look at our relationship just a little bit different when it comes to there. And there needs to be more growth there so that you either spend enough time or learn more from your partner to know that they're pure, or be honest enough with yourself to know that they aren't, and do what you need to do to find yourself in a relationship or a situation with somebody who is as pure, because now it's not going to be equally yoked and it's not going to be good for neither one of y'all. And they like to think Dr. Phil is a real shrink. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Anthony, but self-control is key. Can't control your partner. That right there, CG Holmes, you know, self-control is key. Self-control is key. Control this. This is all that we will ever be able to control. That is it. We will never be able to control anybody else. And so many times, right? I don't know if anyone, has anyone read the book Untethered Soul, right? So they talk about that in Living Untethered. It talks about how our traumas are like thorns that are sticking out of our body. And we are navigating this world to where instead of us removing the thorns, we're navigating the world so that the thorns aren't hit. So now we can't hug someone because those thorns are going to be hit. These traumas, these pain points are going to be hit. So now we've created a safe world around us to where our pain and our trauma and our triggers won't get hit, instead of us working on removing those thorns and removing those traumas. So where are we in our life? And that's the reason why we got to be honest. When we're trying to control people, what we're trying to do is control our environment to be conducive so that our pain and our trauma is not hit. That's not the way to go. We have to lock in and we have to learn to remove that pain and remove that trauma so that we are not trying to navigate this world with these safeguards and these bumpers around. And I think that's the biggest issue with us, is that a lot of us, it's hard. We don't even know where to start with removing some of those things, right? So what we've done is we've built a world based around safety. And that is not a way to live. We built a world around being safe, but in there's still a lot of fear. And if we are still living with all of this fear, we know where fear comes from. Fear is not from the Most High. Fear does not come from the Most High. Fear comes from low vibrations. So if we are trying to control others without taking the time to work on ourselves, that form of control is also a form of fear. So this goes back to G. Holmes with being able to be honest, right? And being able to be communicative. This is what we have to work on with ourselves, to be communicative. These are the hard conversations that we have to have with ourselves. Where am I? Why do I feel pain here? Why do I not want this? Why do I not want this? And a lot of times what we'll find is that it's not even from this relationship. A lot of times we find it's not even from the previous relationship. A lot of times we'll find that it's from years and years and years and years back, when we start to peel back those layers. And that's the reason why when we're honest with ourselves, then we can see that we're putting our partner through baggage that we need to clear. This partner may not be doing anything wrong. They may just be chilling, but we are reacting to them from our own trauma points that we haven't healed and we haven't been able to be honest with ourselves about. Dr. Phil, you love attention. Numerology, what sign are you? You a Pisces? I think who doesn't love attention? I love attention too. I was lucky enough. Look, man, I was lucky enough when I was 19 to get on TV. I got a lot of attention. And I tell you, that attention is a drug, because once it starts to fade away, I didn't know what was happening. There was times when I could walk into a spot and I could get any girl that I wanted just because I was on TV. They didn't care what I looked like or anything. And then once that attention faded, it was like, how do I get it again? And that was something else that I had I had to work on. That's a whole nother episode right there. That's a whole nother episode right there. And yes, very much control. Not to go too deep, but I've learned early on that people are nice to me when they like me, and I like to be liked. We all like to be liked. Don't feel bad about that. Name one person that you know who doesn't like to be liked? That person's lying. That person is using their ego to guard their self. When a person says, I don't care who like me and who don't. That ain't true. We all feel that. We all want to feel liked. Now, to the depths of what we will do to get liked, that's a whole different situation. If we go out of our way to do things that are out of our natural self to be like, now that's where the problem lies, right there. She said, flirting with someone, I got to put this charger in, y'all. Flirting with someone while in a relationship is disrespectful to me. Let's talk about that. Numerology, what you feel? I got to plug this computer in, y'all. There we go. Flirting with someone else while in a relationship is disrespectful to me. And some people will. Some people will take it that way. And then there are some people, we got a lot of polyamory out there, especially nowadays. We got a lot of open relationships. We have a lot of people out there who practice different things. And, some of them, it's not, some of them, like watching their person flirt, so that's the beauty of being individuals, right? When we can sit and be honest with ourselves about what it is that we want, what are the things that are non-negotiables, then that's how we can navigate. Because then if you come into a relationship and you say, I like to be in a relationship where we're able to flirt with people, and this person says, I hate that, then it's not going to work. Or you have to change that about you. Or if you are honest with yourself and says, I not only want to be in a relationship or like to be in a relationship where I'm able to flirt, that is one of the things that's on my list. I need to be able to feel free, to be able to express myself in a way that could come off as flirtatious, so that I don't feel like my wings are being clipped. When I'm in a relationship and I'm not able to express myself like this, I feel like I'm in some type of prison, even though it's not a real prison, but I just feel like I can't truly be myself because my natural self is flirtatious. So when you now come across somebody who says, I can't deal with that, then this isn't going to work. Then you have your discernment, like, they check this box, but this is an important box for me. And because I was honest with myself, I know that later on, this will be a problem. A lot of times we accept things, even though deep down we know later on they will be a problem. And we take them like, you know what, this person's here, they're good to me, but they don't check this box. And then later on, those boxes start to be a problem and they start to be an issue. And then the person that you're with is saying, well, I've always been like this. Why is it an issue now? And now we come to the point where now you are finally being honest with this person about what you want and what your desires are. And it does not match with what they want and what their desires are. And now a year, 2 years later down the line, we come into this situation where we actually aren't compatible. Technically, we weren't compatible to begin with. It's just that one of us had to make some changes or alter certain things that we wanted in order for it to work. But that only works temporarily, y'all. That only works temporarily. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We going deep, y'all. We going deep. That's why I'm scared of flying. Control, you're right. It's my baggage. He's a pure one. Yeah. And we learn that. And we learn that. And that's the beautiful thing, is that when we learn these things about ourselves, we learn them in a non-judgmental way, right? I love to use the athletes as an example. Let's look at an athlete. They know that the free throw is a weak point of them. They don't get mad. They don't judge themselves. They get with a coach and they now spend time on this area where they're weak. Instead of spending an hour a day on the area where they're already strong, which is 3-pointers, we got to spend an hour a day. Let's stop doing the 3-pointers and let's start working on this area. And That's the beauty. One of the things that we have to do is start having more mercy for ourselves. Look at where we are, because most of the time, the places that we are not places that we put ourselves. The places that we are come from us as kids that were pushed down by our parents. So a lot of stuff that we feel judgmental about ourselves for and everything, that does not even come from us. Yet we judge ourselves for having it. So that's why we gotta remove the own judgment that we say. We have to not judge others, and we cannot judge ourselves. And we are the hardest critics on ourselves sometimes. And it stops us from growing, because when we enter it with judgment, we say, I should have already known this. I should be here. I should be here. Instead of saying, you know what? Let's take a look at where we are. Let's take a look at where we need to go. And let's take a look at what needs to be done in order to get there. If we start to look at the areas in our life like that, remove the emotion, remove the judgment, and treat it literally just like we would treat an athlete, I'm telling you, we would have a lot more progress. But the world teaches us to be shameful. The world teaches us that if we aren't where we should be, then we should feel a certain type of way. But that's not true. That is not true. Every single step, we are growing. And if we have the same mercy for ourselves that the Most High have, look at what the Most High forgives us for. Look at what the Most High helps us through. Look at what the Most High always comes back to us no matter how many times we mess up. That's the same mercy that we learn to have with ourselves. And then when we learn to have that same mercy with ourselves, we then learn to give that mercy to others. We can't give to others what we can't give to what we don't know how to give to ourselves. And that's the reason why a lot of us can't be in loving relationships. We still have not learned how to love ourselves. So we're giving the person, our partner, a fragmented version of what we think love is. And we don't even know if that's the right, if that's what love is. It's like, we have to learn these things for ourselves, learn how to do these things for ourselves, learn to put your oxygen mask on first before you help other people. Learn to see the smoke in your own eye before you try to talk about the smoke in your brother's eye. And it's all there in our text. The Most High has given us a roadmap. The Most High has given us a roadmap on how we can navigate these things, because the world is unforgiving. The world is relentless. The world will make us feel bad 24/7 if we allow it. But the Most High doesn't want us to feel that way. The Most High wants us to feel love. The Most High wants us to feel nurtured. The Most High wants us to feel appreciated. The Most High wants us to feel important. Every single one of us has an individual journey here, so much so that we were able to come into this world. So that's what the Most High wants us to feel. But life beats us up and makes us feel the complete opposite of that. Hey, man, we in here today. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to go this deep today. My co-host left me, y'all. I ain't mean to go this deep today. I apologize. Y'all. Let me see. I apologize. At any point we go too deep, let me know. We had an hour and 33, y'all. We going in today. It's Memorial Day. Shout out to our troops. I know some of y'all ain't got no work, so y'all dealing with me a little bit longer today by myself. We don't got Darian. Y'all dealing with me a little bit longer by myself. So I appreciate y'all. Lurska says discernment is being able to tell the difference between what's good and what's not good, even when it's not obvious. Yeah. It's a very, very, very good definition of discernment, actually. That is a very, very good. I like that. Let me see here. Where's she at? Yep. Comes down to being authentically yourself and acknowledging real incompatibility. And so many of us can't do that because so many of us don't want to be alone. And so many of us may see good traits in the person, but it doesn't mean that those traits are meant for us. It's kind of like a flower, right? They say if you really, really love the flower and you really saw that that flower was beautiful when you walk by it, you wouldn't pick it. You would not pick it. You would allow it to grow. And I think we got to do the same with people. Sometimes we can recognize the beauty in them, recognize how precious they are. But if they're not for us, don't pick them. Acknowledge the beauty and keep moving. But so many of us, we feel like we got to pick it and we got to make it our own. Sometimes you can just recognize that beauty, y'all. You don't got to pick it and make it your own. each relationship is so different, and each person brings different things to a relationship, and those are like the puzzle piece. Yeah, absolutely. We in here today, y'all. Take a sip, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I don't know. Hey, I'm just going on a tangent right now, y'all. If y'all wasn't here, I'd be having these conversations out of my head, looking like a madman, looking like a madman. This is why I be so quiet, and this is why I was having a talk with my friends yesterday, and I was just like, I don't do small talk. Small talk is not a thing that I'm into. I don't care about small talk. Now that I'm 40, man, that's small talk. Y'all can keep that small talk, man. We like that. We like that deep, deep, deep conversations, man. We don't like that. You said you've been single for 10 years and it's tiresome. What's tiresome about it, right? Like, is it tired holding the weight and the responsibility all to yourself? Are there areas, like you said earlier, are there areas that you still need to grow? I haven't had, I usually go years and years in between. My last like official relationship, really, like where we lived together and all that, was 7 or 8 years ago. And, it does get tiresome and it does get old. And sometimes that's a sign that it's time for us to grow, right? Sometimes that's a sign, because the person that we meet and the people that we date are a reflection of us. So wherever we are in life, that's who we are going to date. And whatever reoccurring thoughts that we have in our life about ourselves, we will not let anybody treat us worse than we treat ourselves. So when you're looking at how you are in a relationship, what you're willing to put up with, that level is what you do to yourself. So if you're with someone who you let down talk you, that's because you have a lot of self down talk too. But when they cross that line of talking to you worse than you talk to yourself, that's usually the point where we stop. So single for 10 years, yeah, it does get tiresome, but that's when we start to sit with ourselves and have that conversation with the Most High. What is it that you're trying to show me? I would like you to bring me someone. Help me learn and grow in the areas that I need to grow in order to attract the type of partner that you want from me. How often are we having those conversations with the Most High versus talking down and bad on ourselves for being single, right? How often do we go into judgment? I can't find nobody. I'm not lovable. I'm not this. I'm not this. I can't do this. Everybody out here is this. This place sucks at dating. This place, this. What are our reoccurring thoughts when it comes to around our partner? Is it that? Or is it these deep conversations that we have with the Most High? Help open my eyes, help me grow. Because a lot of times, how often are we asking to be the person that our partner needs versus asking for the person that we need, right? Let's start flipping it. How can I be the person that I'm meant to be with needs? How can I be the person that helps my partner grow? How can I be the person that helps my partner get closer to you, to the Most High? How can I be the person that makes my partner feel secure? When we start to flip it, watch, I feel like there's a change that happens, because now it's not me, I, this is what I want. But what are we willing to give? Because remember, you can only keep what you give away. So what are we willing to give in order to receive? So that's the conversation that we should start having with ourselves. Hey man, I'm sorry. Look, I apologize, right? We going too deep today, man. Hey, we going too deep today. I'm trying to we going too deep. Yeah, we going too deep, man. What y'all say? She says, I find that a lot of men fall into the I'm a POS mentality. And that's the thing that's most difficult, because it doesn't leave once they're in a relationship. And I've never felt, yeah. And he says, that's so true. When I see someone that I might want to date, I always ask the question to the Most High if I'm ready to be the steward of that person, and he'll show me where I see. And that's a powerful way to be. And when we start to talk to the Most High about what we're willing to give versus what we're willing and want to take, We're gonna see a change, man. We're gonna see a change. Hey, look, that's an hour and 40 we've been in here. This is our longest show, and Darian isn't here. How y'all feeling, man? We about to shut off. Did this help anybody? I hope it did. This definitely helped me. My little coffee getting cold. Yeah, my little coffee getting cold, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to follow y'all on the social medias, just so we can continue this. I'm gonna start the Patreon today, y'all. No more games. That way, we can all. This conversation can continue not just on the when we go live. So. Zen AM, we want this to be a space for us to grow, not just when we're on there, but it looks like we got a community building. So when Wednesday comes around, y'all, make sure y'all here Wednesday. Make sure we are going to have the link to the Patreon up on here. The link to the Patreon will be up. That way we can have this conversation that can go ongoing. We can chat with each other. We can build. We can have topics that we discuss outside of the show. We could really do that. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. This helped me a lot. It's helping me be a better person. This is helping me grow, helping me get my thoughts out, so where they're not just stuck in here, and I have y'all as a springboard. And it's good to see that other people are experiencing what I'm also going through. 40 years old, still single, dealing with all of that. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in from all the way from wherever y'all tuned in. We got South Africa. I don't even know what time it is out there. It's probably like midnight or something out there. I'm sure it's like 7 to 8 hours or something crazy. So we appreciate y'all. G1 Homes, thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for coming in. Pinky, everybody. Boom Man up in here. Anthony. Shout out to all of y'all. Happy Memorial Day. We love y'all. Holla.